Everybody talking. Few are reading. Opinions get loud, but the page still speaks. Back to the page. Everybody talking.
And what's up, everybody? Welcome to tonight. What's going on? Good to be here. Kind of rushing. You know how it is. So, how are y'all doing? I don't think I had a chance to ask. Are you okay? Are y'all okay? Why don't you just drop in comments, let me know you're okay. Got a thumbs up. I think we're good. All right. So let's get back to it. So every so often I run across something that triggers me and provides for content, I guess you could say. So tonight is one of those times. And I've been speaking publicly for years. Let's see, got into the ministry year 2000, I think. Gosh, so many years ago, kind of hard to remember what I did before then. I do know that in college, I took a few or at least a couple of communication classes. So as far as getting in front of people and talking, I've done it quite a while. And even though I've done it for a while, for the last couple of years, I've been trying, maybe 2, 3, 4, I don't know how many years, not all of them, but a few. Been kind of looking back. Jackson said, no, he's not okay. Oh, I know why. I know why. But anywho, we'll talk about it later. But even though I've been talking for a while, and you can tell by the way I'm stumbling through this, even though you've done something for a long time, doesn't mean that you have done it well. And I've been thinking about communication for a while, because what if the skill that's holding you back isn't the one that you don't have, but it's your ability to communicate the skills that you already have? What do I mean? In life, we have tried so hard. We go to school, we get education, we get jobs, degrees, experience. We work on all of the things that could make us better husband, better spouse, better father, better employee, better employer. We work on all these things, gain skills and experience to make our lives and us better at all those things. But when you think about communication and how important of a part communication plays in all of your life, all of our lives, it is vital. Now, what is one of the main things as Christians that we're supposed to do? We are supposed to go out into the world and we are to spread the gospel. Not only spread the gospel, but we are to make disciples and we are to teach them everything that God has taught us. So when you think about fundamentally our most important job as a Christian, it involves communication. And not only as a Christian, everything we do involves good communication. Every day we are faced with opportunities that'll either be won, gained, or lost based on how effective we are with our ability to communicate. Somebody walks into a boardroom with a great idea, but you just can't explain it. We get experience. We go to school. We get all of this stuff. But the one thing that if we can learn, the one thing that we can learn and do that would ultimately make all of those other skills just kind of blow up and be better. Yeah, Jay, I know school starts tomorrow. Yeah. If we get educated, if it doesn't matter how smart we are, we can be smart. We can be creative. But if we're not effective in our communication, those skills, I won't say that they're wasted, but they won't benefit us as well as if we don't add in effective communication. So this is why I kind of want to get into this tonight, and not only tonight, but for the next couple of weeks, maybe 2-3 weeks, because communication and our ability to do that is very, very, extremely important. Look at somebody and tell them it's important. It's very important. Now, every day, when we think about these opportunities, every day these opportunities that come and go, whether or not we can effectively communicate will probably dictate whether or not the opportunity is lost or gained. I believe that the Lord places people into our lives that we are here in order to lead them in a particular direction. Imagine if somebody comes into your life and they have no idea, no clue about Christianity, and they come up to you and they ask you about Christianity. And the answer you give, instead of being clear, concise, and compelling, the answer you give is kind of hemming and hawing your way through it. It's not a lack of knowledge that does that, causes us to hem and haw our way through our explanation. It's a lack of effective communication that does it. So we have the opportunities before us. God puts those opportunities in front of us. Some of us want better jobs. Some of us want better whatever. Some of us want relationships. And let me just say, you know what? Y'all know that when it comes to relationships, you've seen some tore up guys with pretty ladies, and it may not. It's the communication. Let's just say that may be a reason that they're with that person. So communication is important, but I don't want to turn this into something that's not. But we got to be able to communicate. It's good to develop knowledge. It's good to go to school and get wisdom. It's good to learn our professions. It's good to learn and develop those technical skills that we need. We need to study business. We need leadership and ministry and finance, and we need to learn and know all of these things. Got to do it. But if we spend hours on all of that stuff, making ourselves knowledgeable and experienced without spending a little bit of time on developing the one skill that can amplify all of the others, I think we would have done ourselves a horrible. We would have put ourselves in a horrible place of disadvantage. So let's develop the one skill that can amplify all of the other skills that we learn. Let's not toss out and toss away communication as if it's not valuable. All right. Now, doesn't matter what you think. Doesn't matter what you want. Doesn't matter what you do. We got to learn how to effectively communicate. Now, there's another reason why this matters, because communication can affect confidence. So you may be, or you may lack confidence for any particular reason. Perhaps you don't feel that you're the most handsome person. Perhaps you don't feel that you're the smartest person in the room. Perhaps you don't feel you're the most qualified person in the room. Now, I don't want to diminish any of those things because those things are real. But I will say, even though there are many people who don't like the way they look, they struggle with their weight, they struggle with their education, they struggle with all of these things. Some of them may have spent years telling themselves that they are nobody. And you may have told yourself that I'm just not good in front of people. I get nervous when I get in front of people. I can't think quickly enough when I get in front of people. I don't sound intelligent. I listen to myself sometimes, and I don't like the way I cannot listen to or watch myself at all. I don't like the way I sound. I don't like the way I talk. None of that stuff. You may be one of those type of people too. I don't know. We may be lacking confidence in certain areas. We may need a boost of self-esteem in certain areas. But when it comes to communication, communication is not a magic bullet that's going to eliminate every insecurity that we have. But imagine knowing something about yourself. Imagine knowing that when you walk into a room, you can organize your thoughts in such a way that when you deliver them, people will listen and people will honor what's coming out of your mouth. Communication, while it won't fix all of the other insecurities that you might have, communication will build you up to such a level to where it starts to work on all of the other insecurities that you have. So you may feel insecure about your weight, about your looks, about your intelligence, but when you are confident enough to speak in front of others, in spite of all that, then that's a starting point to fix all of that other stuff. Now, I'm not a therapist. Don't want to pretend to be. Soul Guardian says he's been here the whole time, just couldn't come. Man, whatever. Why couldn't you comment, man? No, I'll just play. But being able to effectively communicate is a starting point to move past, move beyond a lot of those other insecurities. Now, we don't need perfect words to communicate an idea effectively. We don't need to be the smartest person, the most competent person in order to effectively communicate. Effective communication has nothing to do with arrogance. It has nothing to do with believing you're the smartest person in the room. But the confidence that you have from being able to communicate comes from not being born with it, but being trained. Now, I said before that I've been speaking for, I'll say, over 26 years. I'll just say that. But experience does not necessarily mean that you are effective at it. So just because I've been speaking for 26 years doesn't mean that I've been doing it right. So we have to train ourselves properly, do it the right way, so that we can take advantage of all those years of doing whatever. So that's one of the things I'm working on, and you can work on it with me. And before we end tonight, I'll tell you how we all can work on this thing together. So this is not just going to be something in theory, but if we want to work on it, work on being better, more effective communicators, so that we can learn and lead better, then let's get to it. We'll talk about it in a minute. So a reason why that I've been interested in this particular subject is because, yeah, I've been speaking for years, and yeah, I have preached and taught and spoke in meetings and spoke in front of panels, spoke in front of what do you call them? Editorial boards for newspapers. Couldn't remember. And y'all, and this is just something that is totally irrelevant. It's just something that I thought about today. I spoke in front of a couple of editorial boards, and Fort Worth and I think it was Fort Worth Telegram, their newspaper, and the Dallas Morning News. When it comes to political leaning, again, this has nothing to do with anything. When it comes to political leaning, they are, you would think that Dallas Morning News, being in Dallas, would be more progressive than Fort Worth Telegram, but it's kind of the opposite. And I don't know, you ask me and I'll tell you why I think that. But like I said, it's just something that popped in my head, which is not good for if I want to be an effective, good communicator. So don't do what I just did. All right. Just do what I say. Now, but I've learned over the time, again, which is why I'm working on it, is experience doesn't automatically make you better. Sometimes experience just makes you more experienced at doing something the same way. All right. So you can take that for what you want. You can take it and apply it to whatever you want, whatever life lesson you want to learn from it. Just because you have a lot of experience doesn't mean that you have good experience. It just means that you're experienced at doing certain things the same way. So tell that to your boss or to that senior associate on the job who claims and brags about being so experienced. Just tell them you just experienced at doing the same thing the same way. Doesn't mean you're any good at it. All right. But we want to train ourselves at doing communication the right way. Doesn't matter how long we've been speaking in public. Doesn't matter how often we've done it. We want to do it better. We want to be experienced at doing something other than just rambling, which is what I find myself doing a lot of times. We want to be experienced at speaking before, or organizing our thoughts before we speak. We want to be experienced on how to handle those nerves when we get in front of a lot of people or get in front of more than the people that we are comfortable with. So when we do this communication thing, we're going to learn why. Have you ever walked into a room and did a presentation or spoke and said a few words and walked out? I mean, you may have been in an interview and you were asked a question and you were stumbling and you couldn't really put the words to it. And then as soon as you walked out, came up with this brilliant response. And you wish that you could just had remembered that 10 minutes ago. I've done that plenty of times. Many times I've talked in front of people and I've been debating with people and I was asked a question and I came up with a response, but it wasn't, no matter how much I prepared before, it just wasn't the right or the best response. And then as soon as I left, I came up with 10 or 20 things better that I could have said. Have you ever done that? Well, we're going to talk about why that happens, because it's brain chemistry. Doesn't mean that you weren't prepared. It's chemistry. And we're going to talk about how we can fix that, how we can do better at overcoming that, how we can get up in front of people and not have our best ideas or best responses 10 minutes after we've left those people. We want to have those good responses right then when we're face to face. So we're going to talk about all that over the next few weeks. We're going to talk about how we can organize our thoughts, because whenever you are speaking, you can have 10,000 thoughts come to your mind. And just like I did a few minutes ago, you want to release and say every last one of them. Sometimes I just got to get it out. Well, we're going to learn how to organize our thoughts so that we can communicate in such a way that only the good stuff, only the right stuff comes out, because we want to be clear, concise, and compelling. Clear, concise, and compelling. Now, again, you may be wondering, why on earth are we talking about communication? And tonight I'm running out of time, but I do have scriptures to back it up, because what we are going to be talking about is when we communicate, it always starts from inside. So what comes out of your mouth, it depends on what's inside of you. So we want to get the brain chemistry correct. We want to get our natural responses to stressful situations in order, figure out why these things are happening, and figure out the best ways to address them as they are happening, so we can be better communicators, so that we can communicate clearly, concisely, and be compelling. Because at the end of the day, it is those folks who take advantage of every opportunity or more opportunities that they come across, whether it's the lost soul that you want to reach or God has placed in your circle to reach, whether it is the unbeliever or the believer in a different faith that you have to speak to, and you are not confident enough to open your mouth because it's not that you don't know what to say, but you just don't know how to say it. So you keep using excuses that, well, maybe God just didn't want me to say it right then. No, he may have wanted you to say it, but you were too afraid that you didn't know what or how to say it. Okay, so we're going to be talking about all those things. Now, Proverbs 16:23, I'm going to give you this one. It says, the heart of the wise teaches his mouth, and addeth learning to his lips. So the heart teaches our mouths what to say. So we are going to be studying what to teach our mouths to say over the next few weeks. Going to be better at communicating, because I promise you that every last one of us can benefit from it, being able to be better communicators. Every last one. You could be selling something. You could be talking to someone about something. You can be doing, every last one of us every day encounters opportunities in which being a better communicator would have made the situation better for us. All right. So how do we do all that? Now we're going to start right here, and we're going to close tonight. We're going to start right here with a little exercise. Now, I debated on whether or not to start this, because I know that the kids, or at least my kids, are starting school here soon. I'm not going to give the exact date because I don't want y'all knowing too much info. So I know schools are starting. It's a brand new year. But there's no good time. Could we have done this over the summer? Probably. Then they may have been complaining that I don't want to do this over the summer. So I don't know. But here's my idea, and I'm just going to present this as an idea. And you guys give me your feedback on it and let me know what you think. So in order to make this a thing where it's not just theory, that we have something to really practice on that would really benefit us, here's my idea. next 2 weeks, next 14 days, we do this. And this is something that studies show that we should do anyway. We take 15 minutes a day or a night and read something. Now, here's my idea, because I want us to be well-rounded. I want us to be able to read and discuss anything. So we alternate. One night we read some scriptures, some passage from scripture for 15 minutes. We make that our reading for that night. Next night we read something from a book or something that we would not have ordinarily read from. It could be some kind of history, a novel on history, or it could be some book on finance. It could be it's something that we normally, we want to stretch ourselves. Normally, we would not have picked up, come across, let alone read. All right. So scripture one night, 15 minutes. The next night, some book or excerpt from a book, 15 minutes. The next night, back to some scripture. Doesn't have to be it shouldn't be the same scripture, but it doesn't even have to be from the same book. It can be any scripture, just some kind of scripture for 15 minutes. Then the next night after that, you can return to a different section of the book or the rest of the book, or you can read 15 minutes from something else. So alternate every night, reading 15 minutes every night for the next 14 days. Here is the twist or the plus. All right. So not starting tonight, but let's start tomorrow. So let's say tomorrow we start reading Matthew chapter 1 for 15 minutes. We read that tomorrow. All right. The next night, we're going to read 15 minutes from a book, something random, something different. But also that night, we're going to write a page on what we read the previous night. All right. So it sounds complicated. I think maybe I may be making it more complicated than it is, but I want you to go through. I want to go through it and talk about it. And we'll if you need me to write it down, just let me know and I will. Because what we're ultimately going to be doing is every night we're going to be reading something for 15 minutes and writing a page on what we read the previous night. Now, the reason why we're writing something from what we read the previous night is because we don't want to have that immediately in our brains. We want to go from memory. This is all a part of it. We want to go from spam call. Pardon me. I know. We want to go from memory of what we read the night before and write something about that. All right. So night one, since we're just getting started, is just reading. The next night is reading 15 minutes and writing something on it. Now, when I say a page, just write something and we'll give details on that. No, I'm not grading. It's nothing like that. All right. This is not for a grade. This is just for you to be able to evaluate how much better you're going to get over time, because you're going to read something one night, write about it the next night, all from memory. All right. So it's going to make you recall and make you explain, because this is one of the things we're going to go over in our discussions is being able to communicate using the biggest words. It's not the most complex theory. It's not the most complex ideas. Being an effective communicator is not trying to make yourself look smart. It's trying to make the other person understand. So in order to do that, you have to be able to communicate in clear, concise, compelling way. It has to be clear. It has to be use simple terms. It has to be simple. So no better way to be simple than to recall something from the previous night that you read and you're trying to remember yourself. So it is going to work on your memory. It's going to work on your ability to recall, because the more you go through this, you'll be able to read and pick out what is most important to recall. Because right now, when we read, we try to get all the details. We got it. But effective reading will let us be able to recall the most important points. Not everything, but the most important points. So as we go through this, you'll learn through this experience on what kind of things you need to recall in order to explain later. All right. So I don't want to make this more difficult than it is. You don't have to, we don't have to put a time on it. We just need to do this at some point during the day. And I hope you do it. I hope you do it. I hope you take advantage of it, because at the end, you'll be able to start on day 1 and day 14, look back, and you're not going to be still the most beautiful communicator after that, but you will see a difference. All right. You will see a difference. So wait, is that an angry face? You'll be all right. You'll be all right. All right. So let's do this. Let's do this. Most of us are kind of around on Sundays. So most of us have access to me. If you don't, if you're watching and you don't have direct access to me, reach out to me if you need an explanation. If you want to take part, I'd love to know if you're taking part. Just drop a comment. Go back to this video wherever it is on YouTube or Facebook. And later on, if you want to, drop a comment in there and say, you know what, I've decided to do this, and I'm going to do it, and I like it. It's helped, or you did it for the full 14 days and you see results. Let me know. All right. Otherwise, if you see me or if you have contact with me and you need an explanation, let me know and we'll talk about it. I'll jot it down. Real simple. Let's start it Sunday. Sunday night or Sunday day, whatever. Read your first passage. Optional, huh? Sunday, read your first passage. You know what? I'm debating on, for those kiddos in the house, you know what? It is optional. This is optional. I'm going to be doing it, but even for those in the house, it is optional. All right. Why? Now I'm speaking of just my 3 plus me. For everybody else, hold on a minute. This is just my 3 plus me. This is optional. Why? Because I've laid out the importance, hopefully, of being a good communicator. And I've laid out a good way to become or start the journey of becoming a better communicator. So you see the need, and you also see the possible way to meet that need. Instead of making this, I guess, for lack of a better term, mandatory in the house, I want you to be able to make decisions on your own on whether or not, when it comes to stuff like this, are you willing to put in the work in order to make progress in certain areas where you know we need to make progress in? Are you willing to do the things necessary in order to get better? Because we all growing up, we all make decisions, we all live our own lives. We have to motivate ourselves in order to do the things that are going to make us better. This 2-week thing is not a waste of time. It will make you better. It will. 15 minutes a day reading, that alone would do wonders. I almost forgot. There's a third piece to this. It's 3 things. So you have your reading over here. You have your writing right here. But this is about communication. This is about speaking. So there has to be a speaking element to this. I hear some noise coming from the other room. So what do we say about the number 3? The number 3 is, that's perfect, complete. That's the Trinity, man. We got to wrap this up in 3. So we have the reading, we have the writing. Now, and I'm going to keep this is nothing major. Yeah, we're not. This is real simple. Every night you do this. Now, some I don't know. Some of you it'll be more difficult than others. Try and find someone. You know what? I guess I didn't totally think this through for people who may live by themselves. Because, okay, here's what I was initially thinking. Every night you do your 15 minutes of reading, you do your writing, and then you speak 2 or 3 minutes in front of whoever's there. Speak on what you just wrote about so that you can articulate what's down on paper. All right. So that's what initially was on my mind. So every night you are reading and you're writing and you're speaking for a couple of minutes. Just in front of the people in front of you. All right. So don't get scared. So now for anybody else that's living by yourself, I don't know, call me. Or if you want to do this, find someone that in your friend group, on your job, wherever, there's somebody that you should be able to stand in front of and give this 2 or 3 minute presentation. That's my challenge to you. Even if you have, you go home to an empty house, there's somebody in your circle that you can get in front of and talk to for a couple of minutes a day. And maybe that's good for you. Maybe it'll work out better for you. Get you out the house, get you in front of somebody. You need to be in front of somebody anyway, talking. All right. So that's the thing. I hope that I've calmed your nerves a little bit. I hope that's a little bit better. But just know that's the first 14 days. There's more to come after this. All right. That's all I got. I'm going to stop right there. Not going to reveal anything else, but that's the 14-day challenge. Next week, we're going to pick up back on communication and talk about some of the things that goes on in the brain, some of the things that goes on in the body. Talk about how when you're standing in front of people that your body treats this level of stress that you're experiencing in the same manner that it treats the situation that our ancestors might have had to experience that caused them to have to run away from a predator. Your body sees those things the same kind of way. So we got to learn how to recognize that and learn how to deal with it. All right. Till next week. We appreciate you. Wait a minute. Person, turquoise, writing. Huh? Okay. So yeah, all right. That's all I got. So we appreciate you stopping by. Appreciate you hanging on with us. We love you. The Lord loves you. And the Lord wants you to grow better, grow stronger, be able to do everything you need to do effectively and efficiently. So let's get it done. All right. Prayers going out to all the people in schools, the teachers, administrators, people who work there, all the students. Prayers going out to all of you guys. We're already hearing about things that are going to fights and whatever in school. May the Lord watch and protect each and every one of you. May the Lord have his hands on you so that no hurt, harm, or danger will come near you. May you develop the strongest friendships. May you get in those schools if you're a student and learn more than the schools are able to teach you. They are there just to kind of put you on a journey, but your education has to rise to levels beyond that. Anything that they're able to teach you, learn more. All right. Do better. All right. Be better. Be strong. Long year, but you know it goes by fast. Get everything that you need to get, and let's get out of there. All right. Love you. Appreciate you. Nothing else? I'll holler. Peace.
We don't build our faith on personalities. We don't build it on popularity. We don't build it on tradition alone. We build it on the word. So keep asking, keep searching, keep reading. Don't just believe it. Open the page. I'll see you next time. Back to the page. We don't